Good morning, thank you for joining me. I hope everybody's well today. As you will have seen from the title, today's video is eye makeup. Much requested, this one. I get asked to do this a lot. Now, I always want to preface these videos where I do my makeup, by saying I am not any sort of makeup artist. All I've learned about makeup, I've learned from YouTube and life experience, I guess. So if you're looking for expert advice, this is not the place. I can show you how I do my makeup, but beyond that, I am not any sort of expert. So let me start by telling you what I've already got all my makeup on apart from my eye makeup. I've also got extremely runny eyes this morning. That's sod's law, isn't it, when you want to film an eye makeup video. I'll start by telling you what I've got on my face already, and I will link all the products that I'm showing you and using today in the description box below, so there'll be links down there if you need them. Right, first of all, I've got primer, and I have got on e.l.f. Putty Primer, Poreless Putty Primer. I bought a set of 3 of these because I wanted to try out the Poreless Putty Primer, but I didn't want to commit to a full size. I like this primer, however, it's a deal breaker for me that you have to dip your finger in. I don't like makeup anymore where you have to dip your finger in. So although it did minimise my pores, I wouldn't buy a full size. I've then got on I've talked about this a million times, the Maybelline Anti-Age Rewind Eye Eraser in the shade Brighten. I use that my eyes are quite deep set, and although I don't get so much the bags underneath and darkness underneath, I get it right in that corner there. And I use this to just make that corner a little less dark, so I just pop some of that in and then blend it with a mini makeup sponge. For foundation, I have Foera, such good value, my favourite foundation ever. I've used so much of it since I did that original test video on this a couple of years ago, I guess it was. How lovely to find a foundation that's so cheap that I love as well. Sainsbury's Boutique powder, I've just got a very light dusting of that over the top of my foundation in the shade Illuminating Strobing Powder, that's called. And then I set under my eyes with a loose powder, which is this Skin Food Peach Powder, which is really, really finely milled. It looks white, but it comes out translucent, and I just literally set under my eyes and then brush away the excess with that. Then for bronzer, I've got this Chanel bronzer, which is called Les Beige Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream. Love, 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 love. Did I say powder? It's not powder, it's cream. I don't know, it's a bronzer, I think. I don't know why I'm talking a million miles an hour this morning. I'm not on a time limit. Yeah, I've got this recently, having wanted it for about 2 years, and I'm so happy with it. It just looks so nice, sits so nicely on the skin. For blusher, I have Rimmel Royal Blush in the shade Majestic Pink, which is a cream blush. That's what it looks like. So that's what I've got on so far. Now let's get on to the eyes. I'm going to have to scooch you in, so forgive me. I hate doing this. Oh. Terrifying, frankly terrifying. Right, I'm starting with some primer. Oh my god, looking at that is honestly terrifying. I've also got lipstick on. I've got a new lipstick on called from Gucci that you'll see it in a vlog. Bought a Gucci lipstick, didn't need a Gucci lipstick, but anyway, I'll put the shade down below. I haven't got it with me, but I can't remember what it is, but I'm quite pleased with it. It's nice pink. Goes quite well with this blusher, I think. Right, for eye primer, I've used various eye primers over the years. At the moment, I am using this eye crayon from Beauty Pie in the shade Vanilla Whirl. It's just like a twist-up thingamajig, and I like this. Sorry, I have to look this way because I'm doing it. It's easier to do it in the mirror than the viewfinder, weirdly. So I'll just pop some of that onto my lid. This has the added benefit of not only being something for the eyeshadow to grip onto, but it also evens out the colour of your eyelids. So I quite like the idea of a sort of crayon stick as an eye primer. Right, just blend that in with my fingers, and then we've got a nice base to start with. Let me just put you back a minute and talk to you about the eyeshadow palette I'm using today. I want to do a nice neutral look, suitable for everybody, and the palette I'm using today is this one from e.l.f. Very good value. It's called the New Classics palette. New Classics palette. And these are the colours. At first glance it looks pretty neutral, but I have been using this over the last week or so, and you can get some actually quite nice colourful looks as well as neutral looks out of this. I'm going to do a very neutral look today, but you've got some really nice sort of shimmery lid colours here. You've got some mid-tone sort of transition colours here and crease colours, and some nice darker ones, a nice super dark charcoaly black there, which I always like in an eye palette. And you've got some little pops of colour as well. You've got sort of a goldy colour and some little bits of green there, so, and some burgundy and pink down here. It's really quite a nice versatile palette. When I first got it, I used it a couple of times and didn't love it, but having been using it over the last week, I've really enjoyed it. It's grown on me, so I would recommend this one. Right, let's come back in. And as I said, we're going to do a neutral eye look today. I'm going to start with a sort of round brush like that and put some colour into my crease. And I think we will start with this sort of neutral shade down in the corner here. It's called Uptown. So just get some of that on the brush. I know you shouldn't blow it, I know you should tap it. I'm just going to pop that into the crease, not too far into the inner corner, concentrating more on the outer part of the eye, simply because that's where I want the definition. I don't want too much darkness in that inner corner, as it's dark enough already. Right, once I've got that colour sort of laid down where I want it, I then take a fluffy brush, if I can find one that's clean enough. Take a fluffy brush like that and just blend that. I reckon eyeshadow is 90% blending. Eyeshadow skill is 90% just blending. And as you get older, I feel like the softer your brush is, the better, and the lighter hand you use, because you get all that crepiness on your eyelids. Can you see how it pulls my skin so much? I'm sure you all know if you're my age or older, or if you've got skin as crepey as mine. So softer, fluffier brushes definitely make blending your eye colour easier. Right, so that's started us off with a little bit of definition there. I'm then going to go onto the eyelid itself, and I'm going to use this colour here, this sort of neutral champagne-y shimmer colour, and I'm going to do that with a flat brush. This is a Sigma brush, sort of really good for laying down eyeshadow. I'm just going to I'm concentrating here more on the inner part of the lid, doing sort of the 2/3 lid, if you like. I do think there's arguments for and against using a shimmery eyeshadow as you get older. For me, I just like the look of it. I love a really nice bright eyelid. I think it's youthful, and for me, I just like the look of it being lighter and a little bit shimmery. I feel like it's a flattering look personally, but you know, you do you. I'm then going to go in with another shimmer, but a little bit darker. I'm just going to use this one down here, which is called Cosmo. Very difficult to read these with no glasses on. And again, using the same brush. And I'm going to start this one from about halfway across the lid. So you've still got that light shimmery look, but it's just a little bit darker than that the colour we've used on the inside, just for a bit of gradient. I'm going back to that fluffy brush and just going over that lid just to blend those two colours together where they've joined, so it doesn't look like a, I mean, I don't think it will look like a particularly demarcated line because they're very similar colours, but if you were using two different ones, you would probably need to blend. You can also blend with your little finger on your eyelid as well. I find that quite a useful tool sometimes. Right, I'm now going to move into the outer corner, and I'm going to go for this to start with, this shade here, this sort of mid-brown, quite a warm colour. It's called Darling. So I'm going to use the big fluffy brush for this one and get plenty of that onto my brush. Blow it off. And then I'm just going to tap it. As you do your eyes, you get to know your eyes, but your eyes are different for a start. Both your eyes will be different, but you get, the more you do eye makeup, the more you realise. And I am just tapping that sort of upwards a little bit and onto that outer corner. So that's what that looks like now. And I'm going to get a clean blending brush and blend that inwards and upwards. What I don't want to do is drag it down at all, so I tend to blend. As you can, when you're older it's more difficult, because as I talk to you now my eyes are quite wide open, but when you're resting it drags it. It's difficult to explain. When your eyes are still and at rest, I guess, everything's a bit lower. So I like to blend inwards. And really not move it out here at all, because I feel like as my eyes rest, that will then drag it down. And what we don't want to be doing is dragging anything down. So you don't want any harsh lines up here either. If you find you've put a bit too much on and you've got a harsh line up here that you can't blend away, go for something a little bit lighter. Just dip your brush into that cream or something similar up there. Only a very little bit, and you can work along that line with that just to blend out the harshness of the line. So it's much easier to make your lines a little bit softer. So you don't want any hard lines. You want it all to look very natural and soft, I think. I think softness is quite important as we age. Right, so that's sort of the outer corner done. I'm going to go in again just to make that dark corner a little bit dark, sorry, that inner corner a little bit darker. And I'm going to use this brown here, which is called Earth. And I'm going to use a slightly less, let me see what I've got, slightly more pointed brush for that, just so I can aim that exactly in that outer corner where I want to build up the darkness. Right, that's like that, and then again I'm just going to blend. Right, so that's that done. It looks absolutely hideous on camera, this close-up, I can't bear it. I am then going to go underneath my eye. So many people say, or some people say, that as you get older you shouldn't put anything underneath your eye, you should concentrate on just above, no mascara, no lower lash. But I just like to define my eye, like the look of a defined, slightly more defined eye. So I'm gonna go in with this, where was I? Let's go with Earth here. Again, just a little bit. And I'm going to use this brush. It's sort of a stubby, quite pointed brush there. This came in a set. This was a really nice set of brushes, actually. I will link it in the description box below, because this is the most useful brush. I'm just going to get, I'm sorry, forgetting that I'm trying to do it on camera. Going just across the, under the lash line, as close to the lash line as I can get. Oh, that's a hideous angle, isn't it? As close to the lash line as I can get. Just sort of the outer half. And then I tend to just use my finger, sorry, to smudge it just a little bit, just to sort of again soften that line just a little bit. You don't want, you're not looking for a really hard to find line there. That's that. Then my final step will be a little angled brush like this, which I will lick. I probably shouldn't lick, and I'm going to go into that black colour up here. And I like to take this under the upper lash line. It's going to be impossible to do it on the camera. I'm going to have to look into the mirror. I feel like this step makes the biggest difference in defining your eye. I'm just going to push you back a little bit. So I've done this eye, but not that one, and I feel like you can really see the difference when you do that. It just makes all the difference. I don't do liner above my lashes. I haven't got enough, because I've got quite hooded eyes. I haven't got enough space to put liner in, and I'm crap at it. So I have tried over the years. So this is a really good compromise. You get the definition. I'll just do that one a little bit further away. You might be able to see slightly better. Just pushing the powder into the sort of not quite the waterline, as close to the base of the lashes as I can get. First few times you do this, your eyes will water like mad. It is quite a acquired taste, so to speak. It takes a while to get used to it, but I just think it's such a worthwhile step. Right, that's all done. Now I'm going to go in with my Lash Princess, Essence Lash Princess Green Mascara. I'm going to do that off camera and I'll be back in a sec. And there we are, the finished look. You can, of course, replicate this sort of, what's the word, process, I guess, with any colours. Like you could use a pale green on the inner lid and a darker green on the outside, or you know, as long as you've got sort of a mid-tone for your initial crease colour and a sorry, that's my fridge, ice machine. Yeah, a mid-tone for your crease colour and a lighter shimmery colour, or even a lighter matte colour for your mobile lid, and then a darker colour in the outer part of the eye. You can use any colours really. I just wanted to use neutral today because I feel like neutral is probably the most flattering on aging eyes. Anyway, that's the look. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got, as I said, I will link all the products in the description box below. If you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments. I will do my best to answer them. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.